Manchester United versus FC20 in the Europa League competition. We managed to secure a winning bet. Welcome back to another episode on the Glory Reds channel, and today we're going to go through the winning bet against FC20. We're also going to be talking a little bit about the Spurs upcoming match on Sunday and also place a bet on the match. But anyway guys, let's get started. Alright, so I've opened up the bet slip from the game, Manchester United versus FC20, and we're going to go through the results that resulted in us winning that bet. So straight off the top, we betted that team corners for FC20 will be over 2.5 in 90 minutes. And as we can see over here, FC20 managed to get 5 corners during the match, so we won that first criteria. Next, we've got Manchester United team corners over 4.5 over 90 minutes. And as you can see, Manchester United managed to get 10 corners in the match. Up next, we have total shots over 90 minutes. We put it at 23.5, which is basically 24 shots being taken in the match. And if you look over here, Manchester United managed to get 19 and FC20 managed to get 7. So in total, bringing it up to 26. So that criteria was met. Up next was a double chance. Manchester United either to win or draw in 90 minutes. And unfortunately for us, we drew the match. But according to the bet, we won. So happy days. All right, and last but not least, we predicted that there will be over 1.5 goals scored in 90 minutes, which is basically 2 goals. And as you can see, each team managed to secure a goal apiece. So that's what resulted in our win. We placed £2 on the bet. The odds amounted to 2.9. The outcome was 5.8, which added up to our total balance of 8.8. So we're going to be taking this 5.8 that we won, and we're going to use this amount to bet on the Manchester United versus Spurs match. Right, now let's talk a little bit about the match, Manchester United versus FC20, before we get into the bet for Tottenham Hotspur. That match, it was disappointing to say the least. Obviously, we did draw the game, come out with a point, but I think from Manchester United's point of view, right, we've been having this long debate about us not being able to score goals in matches, right? And because of this, it has really influenced my decision in making bets. Because in the past, which I wasn't really successful with, when betting on Manchester United, because obviously it's the team I support, I was very much in favor of Manchester United winning games, right? And I was very disappointed, or let me just say it really killed my bet slip, because Manchester United were not scoring enough goals to enable us to win. And when you look at this match as well, even though we had 19 shots, just going back to the stats, right? We dominated in possession, in passing, shots on target, and shots in total. We still only managed to score 1 goal, right? So, yeah, like I said, there's been a very long debate about are players good enough? Why are we not scoring more goals? Is it on the players? Is it on the manager? And we really needed to secure a strong result first game of the Europa League competition. But it's fine. It is the first game. We're drawn against FC20. So we can just only hope that we're going to be able to pull better results going into our next game against Porto. But for now, we'll take the draw, right? And we'll just try and get the positives out of this game and not really dwell on the negatives so much. Hopefully things start to kick off and we can just hope for better results. Right, so now let's jump into the Tottenham match, right? So Spurs, just looking at their previous fixture, right? So they also played in the Europa League competition and they won 3-0. And not only that, but they managed to pull off that 3-0 result after getting a red card. So they basically played with 10 men and they managed to secure a result. So let's just look at their previous stats and let's see how we're going to make our bet going into this match. All right, so let's see how Spurs' performance has been since the kick of the season. So if we look at here, right? That's where the league still kicked off. Right, so Spurs versus Leicester. Let's have a quick look at the stats. So it looks like they have also been very consistent in taking a lot of shots. Corners is also looking good. And I'm basically looking at the stats which I want to use when placing a bet on this match. All right. So it seems like Spurs dominated Leicester. Unfortunately for them, they drew. And yeah, it seems like this sort of suffering the same problems that we are suffering, creating a lot of goal scoring opportunities, but not putting much behind the net. But anyway, that was against Leicester. Let's look at the next game which they played. Everton, they managed to win 4-0. Consistently keeping up with the amount of chances they're creating, have a lot of possession, a lot of passes, and corners as well. So far, it looks like they're averaging a good number of corners. So, we're going to be definitely looking at that when we're placing our bets. Over here, they lost against Newcastle. 20 shots. All right, still keeping up with good possession stats, and their corner stats are also in favor of them. And then moving on to the match against Arsenal. Arsenal won, and yes, those stats have remained consistent. Here, they never really picked up a lot of corners, but so far everything is remaining consistent. And then last but not least, Brentford. The last game they played, they won 3-1. Again, shots on target, corners, quite a good number. All right, so now we have a good idea of what we're going to be placing our bet on. Let's go back here. And of course, we're going to start with the bet builder. We're not going to bet on anything outright. Going to go straight into match. And we're going to skip this one, right? Because I'm still not confident enough say who is going to win. United are playing at home. We've definitely been playing way better this season, and I do believe that we can still manage to hold them off to a draw, or we can win the game. How many goals will be scored? This one is going to be a bit difficult because even though I want to go with 1.5, we are playing at home, right? Manchester United versus Spurs. It's going to be a very tricky fixture. It's going to be very tricky. Like I said, I'm expecting United to win, but under the right circumstances, it should go well. But there's also that possibility of them drawing. I don't know. You know what? It is risky wages, so we're going to go with 1.5 and let's add that to our selection. I do see Manchester United scoring. I do see Spurs scoring. I do think that more than 2 goals will be scored in this fixture, so I'm going to take that gamble and go with more than, let me just say, 2 goals being scored in the match. Looking at corners, like I said, these two teams have been very consistent in terms of winning corners for themselves. So I'm tempted to go. You know what I'm going to do? With this one, I'm going to go with overall corners. So in the previous bet that I made it for individual. So how many corners will Manchester United get? How many corners will Tottenham Hotspur get? But in this case, I am going to go with 11.5. All right. You know what? I'm going to go with 12.5 actually. I'm going to go with 12.5. Yeah. Let's add that to our selection. And that's what I want to predict. At least 13 corners in total will be won during the match. How many booking points? Double result. I'm very skeptical about making a double result, right? Because I just feel like I'm going to get this one wrong, okay? Like I said, I'm confident that Manchester United will win. But there's an off chance that Spurs could also beat us in this match. And going with the draw would be risky. And then saying it'll be won either way would also be a risky. It'll be too much of a risky bet. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip past this one as well. What else will happen? We'll be ahead. I'm going to skip that. How many stats? What do we have here? Passes. Over 1,000. You know what? I'm not yet prepared to place a bet on this stat. I'm not yet prepared. Let's see what it has. No, no shots on target. 10 plus. Let's have a look here. Shots on target 5. I'm not gonna look at the Barnsley match. Crystal Palace 6. All right, so they're almost averaging half of what they're taking their shots on. Let's go Southampton, and we have 2010. Yeah, it's almost a 50-50 ratio. Spurs 6 for 6, very interesting. Arsenal 7 for 4. You know what? No, I'm gonna leave it. Let's leave that one. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually quite happy with this bet. I'm going with the corners, and I'm going with goals, and we're going to leave it as that. And like we said, we're going to bet our winnings from the previous game, which was 5.8, which will give us a total return of 13.92. And as always, if we do win this bet, this is the next amount we're going to put into our next bet. So let's secure that. Let's place this bet, and it's done. So yeah, so that's my bet. Right, so now just talking outside of the bet, let's have a quick match preview for the match against Spurs this Sunday. I'm not really confident in United right now. All right, like I said, there have been conversations that have been had about United, other players. Is the front six good enough? You know, can we compete against these top 6 teams in the Premier League? Going into these games, yes, our performances have improved. Our defense has dramatically improved from last season. We're not conceding as much as we did last season, even though our goal difference is not looking really good. That's more to do of us not scoring enough goals versus, us conceding goals. Looking at the players as well, Bruno Fernandes has been really off form in the past, you can say 2-3 fixtures. And I don't know going into this Spurs match if he's going to be up for the task. We all know that Erik ten Hag is not going to drop Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is most likely going to be starting this match regardless of his form. So I think that's probably the only player we're really counting on to be on his best form in order for us to get a really positive result in this game. Looking at the front three, I think Xerxes starts. I don't think Rasmus Højlund is quite ready to be starting games over Xerxes. So I'll go with the Xerxes in the number 9 position. Marcus Rashford, I see him starting this game. I don't think he'll be dropped. Amad Diallo, also most likely to be starting in this game. The midfield is where I'm not really sure because it's really chopped and changed things, and there's also Casemiro in the balance. We're not really sure what's the plan with him moving forward. So I can't really say if he's going to be playing Ogate over Eriksen, for example, or either one or the other. Or we might even see Casemiro coming back into this game. So looking at that midfield, I still need to give a prediction. So I think Ogate is going to make up that trio in the midfield alongside with Kobe Mainoo. I think the back four always speaks for itself. That's Diego Dalot, Martinez, De Ligt, Mazraoui, and of course our number 1 goalkeeper, Andre Onana. It's going to be an interesting match. Can't wait to watch it, and we'll see what the results will look like. If you guys want to see how I constructed my bet against FC20, then you can check out this video over here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.